Hello everybody, my name is Jamie Maxfield. Welcome out for another episode of Cult Classics vs. Comedians. We are recording here at Quick Wits Theater here in Midvale, Utah. And I am joined by these three lovely comedians. I got Bob Bedore.
Howdy.
Jady Peeters.
Hi.
And Cody Eden.
Hello.
And we are going to be talking about your film, Jady, which is a classic, a very Americana kind of a movie called Freddy Vs. Jason.
Freddy Vs. Jason.
Tell us about Freddy vs. Jason.
So, Freddy vs. Jason is about Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, who are both serial killers from beyond the grave. And Freddy finds out that the only way he can survive in the world, like the modern day world, is to have people be afraid of him and have nightmares about him. And the only way that he can get people to start being afraid and having nightmares is to resurrect his friend from hell, Jason Voorhees, who likes killing teenagers. So, of course, he resurrects him, and it's going great. Everybody's having nightmares. Freddy's getting stronger. And then Jason kills someone that Freddy wanted to kill. Lovers quarrel.
Yes.
So they start fighting. They're going at it. They're slashing teenagers left and right in their wake. And eventually they go from Elm Street, where Freddy's domain is, to Camp Crystal Lake, where Jason was drowned as a child and came back as a serial killer, and have a coup de grace on the lake, fighting each other and killing everyone.
Cody, what did you think about the film?
I thought it was,
Not good, huh?
when we were selecting our movies, you were told to pick a movie that you love unironically, that you are a genuine fan of. Explain why you unironically love this horrible movie.
I love this movie because although it's supposed to be a Freddy versus Jason movie, it's really a Freddy movie with a guest star of Jason. Yeah. And Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund, is amazing. He's funny, he's sassy, he always has a one-liner. Let me give you an example of something I unironically loved. The pothead character, and we all know there's going to be one of those in the movie.
In this case, it was J minus Silent Bob.
Like the discount store version of J.
Yeah. He's at the insane asylum trying to get Hypnosil, which is a drug that makes you not dream about Freddy Krueger, which is a very specific drug to have, but totally necessary. Turns out that he falls asleep after smoking a lot of weed. What? And Freddy Krueger shows up as like a caterpillar out of Alice in Wonderland to terrorize him.
Yeah.
And they're so creative. Like, he lives in dreams, so he can be anything he wants. Anytime he wants, as long as they're asleep and as long as they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
The kill scenarios are pretty fun and pretty creative. I think my issue with Freddy Krueger, his backstory is he's a child predator. Yeah. Like right off the bat, I don't want to spend 90 minutes watching a child predator, especially one that wisecracks and makes jokes.
Yeah.
You can make a good movie about an undead guy who does supernatural stuff and makes jokes. It's a great movie. It's called Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch pederast Beetlejuice.
Which I was waiting for them when she's in the main girl in the show, kind of our hero.
Yeah.
She is in the police station. She's like, "What is the name?" And she kept saying that, and I'm yelling at the TV, "Say Beetlejuice! Say it! Say it! This will be a great film if you say Beetlejuice." And he comes in.
Freddy versus Jason versus
Beetlejuice would be.
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
That would be
the
spectacular.
trifecta of a blockbuster.
Michael Keaton's just like, what am I doing here?
What happened? Birdman was so good. I won an Oscar. Now this? Really? What'd you?
For me, I gotta tell you, I'm with JD on these. I'm a slasher flick fan.
Yeah.
I was an opening night seer of this movie, and and followed it as it was being made. I mean, I was one of those guys that was just really up on everything. This movie, we were talking a little bit before we started filming this, but it went through 19 different script adaptations for this, with all kinds of crazy plots. I mean, there was a plot where there was these cult worshippers of Freddy called the Fred Heads, and that they bring Freddy back to life through one of their incantations, and there was all these different weird plot things that all came through. People were trying to find every way possible to bring Freddy and Jason together. Do I think that this was the best one of the bunch? Probably not. I think there probably was a better way to bring them together. But I love the movie. For one thing that we said earlier, this was really a Freddy movie. But with that, this is where I have my one knock on this movie. Yeah. It was produced by those people. Freddy has 1 kill in this movie.
That's a very low kill rate.
Yeah, well,
bad for the stats.
It's over 20 people killed. Yeah. Jason got them all, which you would think he would be the winner. But I think they really pushed this at the end that Jason was that Freddy ends up being the winner of the fight. But the one thing we haven't talked about, and I think the most amazing part of this movie, one of the stars, a Destiny's Child. Kelly Rowland.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Kelly Rowland in this movie, and actually really good.
She was good.
In this movie. It's pretty funny. You know what's amazing is she gets a lot of crap about being in this movie, and her response is just like, you know what? It was fun. I got paid, and it made money. I don't care. Screw you guys.
Really funny.
So she has that confrontation with Freddy, and so she's like, I gotta get Freddy to fight Jason. So she does what every lady does, and goes to making insults about his penis size and his sweater, and comparing it to Jason's, and he's got such a bigger sword, and all of a sudden Freddy's like, what? And all of a sudden it's on at that point. So she very brilliantly.
I'm pretty sure that was the same argument that broke up Destiny's Child. Was that same sort of thing?
Yeah, probably.
Well, I love the opening. It opens with Freddy's flashback to show who he was, and then all of a sudden you go into what you think is going to be a Jason Voorhees flashback, but it's all just this one kill of this girl, and you're watching it going, well, so where's this going? And then it turns out Jason was dreaming.
Yes, it was a Jason wet dream. Is what it was.
And none of that, but you saw that he's like rotted and decomposed. So even decomposed, this guy is still getting getting a wet dream over slashing a naked girl.
And I was amazed at how just moist Jason was throughout this whole entire film. Like, he never dries out. He's always wet, and the amount of blood that comes out of this guy's body,
so good.
Has got to set records. Like, he just is a non-stop, just bleeding machine. He gets stabbed like a bazillion times, and just blood's just coming out all over the place.
So I feel like each of us should choose Freddy or Jason.
We got it. That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea.
Bob,
what do you think?
I'm gonna choose Freddy. I was a Freddy guy from the very beginning. I mean, I will say the first time I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, a couple of friends, there was nothing to know about this character, and then you saw him, and we went and saw it at the movies, and I remember my 2 friends and I went to a Denny's or some kind of all-night eatery. I think we sat there for like 4 hours after the movie talking about this character. I mean, this was, you didn't have a slasher that talked or did all these things, and the creepiness of the dreams and stuff. That first movie, I think, is one of the most cult slasher flicks ever, and will always be. Right. So I'm a Freddy guy.
Yeah. I think Jason won this one because every time he was up against the ropes, I mean, he just came back and kicked Freddy's ass left and right. Like, when Freddy was like about ready to, finish off Jason, all of a sudden Jason would just get up and it was an old school ass kicking from Jason. I'm saying Jason on this one. I'm calling Jason, even though they do let you know at the end that nobody really lost.
Yeah, no, there was a little wink from Freddy.
Yes.
Freddy, definitely Freddy. Forever Freddy, Freddy forever.
Yes. All right. And Cody?
I guess I'm a Jason guy.
Yeah.
Man, a few words.
Strong and silent.
This is a draw. We've come to a draw.
Just like sort of the movie.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So, as a recommendations, Bob, you were a fan growing up.
Yeah, I was a fan, so I definitely saw it again. I own all of the Freddy movies. I own all of the Friday the 13th movies. So if this is in your wheelhouse, you've already seen it. You don't need a recommendation.
Fair enough.
And if it's not in your wheelhouse, you haven't and probably won't.
Cody?
It's cinematic fast food. It ain't good for you, but you'll consume it rapidly. You'll be surprised how fast you ate it up.
Yeah, and the show went pretty. You didn't stretch out long.
No.
Because you were entertained the whole time.
Yeah, and then I felt bad about myself afterwards.
Yes. Jady?
I absolutely love it. It's hilarious, and I'm never at any point in the movie scared, but I am entertained.
Yeah, I have to agree. It wasn't a scary movie, but it was definitely entertaining. It was fun how they brought those two different worlds together, and it was just a fun, it was a fun horror film for me.
It wasn't exactly Reese's Peanut Butter Cups with the mix, but still pretty good.
Yes. So, all right, Bob, how can people follow you?
They can follow me if you catch me as soon as I get up. You can just everywhere I go. You can be right behind me.
Yes,
that'd be a great way. Or you can just check me out on Facebook, Bob Bedore, or check out my comedy troupe, Quick Wits. We perform every Saturday night right here in Midvale. You can check us out at qwcomedy.com.
And Cody?
At Cody Eden on Twitter. I was also in Lord of the Rings as one of the non-speaking Ents. So
yeah, perfect. JD?
You can check out jadybyproxy.com or catch me on Facebook at Jady Peeters.
And then I'm Jamie Maxfield, just at Twitter, it's just at Jamie Maxfield. You can also follow me on, I'm going to burp. Cult Classics.
Plugs give him gas.
Yeah, I hate it.
Self-promotion makes them all bloated.
Yeah, I'm feeling it right now. Yes, you can follow Cult Classics versus Comedians on Facebook. Channel 801, which is a monthly film showcase that Ben Fuller and I produce. And then Where's the Punch Podcast, which is a comedy writing podcast that Ben and I host as well. Again, Quick Wits, we want to thank you guys for letting us come out here and film this episode. And you guys, that was a lot of fun. That was a fun episode.
Cheers.
Yep, thanks.